To wrap up the tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to take the LTHS Visual Arts logo, start it very small and not be able to see it with the low opacity, scale it up, and then make it fly off the screen really, really fast and increase in size. To do this, I'm going to select the LTHS Visual Arts logo. Right now it's coming on at 8 seconds and it goes to the end of the composition. You're going to make that a little shorter like we did with the text layers. So it comes on at about 8 seconds and goes off at 10. Toggle open the triangle, select scale, reduce the size to something really, really small, and also lower the opacity. Click on the stopwatch next to the opacity to set a keyframe at both positions. Move over to 9 seconds. Take the opacity, bring it all the way up to 100. And take the scale and bring it up to about 50% or so. Then, on this keyframe, I'm going to right click and go to Easy Ease In. Do the same with the opacity keyframe. Right click, Keyframe Assistant, Easy Ease In. It'll allow it to smoothly transition into the time from 8 seconds to the 9 second. Then we're going to move over somewhere between 9 and 10 seconds, actually a lot closer to 9 seconds. And we're going to increase the scale of this up to something dramatically larger. And we're going to make sure that we have motion blur turned on for this layer. The opacity is also going to be decreased, I should say. So as we scrub through, we can kind of see what it looks like. I actually want to take the 2 keyframes here, drag around both, and move it actually a little bit closer so that comes very rapidly and goes off very quickly. Let's hit the RAM preview button to see what this whole composition looks like now. Okay, the final thing we'll take a look at is how to render this out into a finished movie. Now that our animation is done, I'm going to go ahead and export out, or render, as After Effects calls it, our timeline into a finished movie. To do this, I'm going to go to Composition, Add to Render Queue. We'll leave the render settings alone, the output module alone. The only one we'll change is output 2. We'll click here. You could save to your Z drive folder. You could save to the desktop folder before we place this onto the V drive, Computer Art 2, and inside a folder called Motion Graphics. So I'll click on the desktop. We're going to call it Your Last Name AE Exercise. I already have one here, so I'll click on that. One off. Click Save. And then click Render. It's going to look at the whole entire timeline. all the effects and animations and render it out again to a finished AVI movie. As soon as it's done, you can minimize After Effects. Go find the file that we just rendered out, and then copy and paste this file again into the V drive folder, Computer Art 2, the correct period 1 or 2, and then the folder called Motion Graphics.